everybody, about to start off on my trip back home. It's going to be roughly about 4 to 5 hours with at least one charging stop. It's not going to be too bad. Just want to show you here. So when I first arrived here, I arrived with 263 miles on my battery left. Since I've been running Sentry mode all weekend, as well as just having to move the car a couple times, I got 191 miles to start off with before I head out. So that's not too bad. I was actually expecting a lot more loss than that with the Sentry mode. But so far I have a lot more battery, so my stop that I would need won't be nearly as long, which is great. So just want to give you that quick update, and off we go. Alright, I'm on the move, about to get on 696. Gonna be heading west to head south, and my first stop is gonna be in Toledo, where I had stopped the first time on the way up. I'll have about 30% charge when I get there, and I'm going to charge up about 80-90% and should be able to make the rest of the way home. Heading my way into Toledo, about to cross the state line here. Alright, I made it to the Toledo supercharger again at 37%. I had 266 watt-hours per mile over the just under 70 miles I traveled. So I'm gonna charge up here and probably gonna walk over to get some food at McDonald's, just something really quick. Then come back here and head off the rest of the way. Again, do the typical plug-in. Maybe. There we go, green charging. Alright, what are we getting? Looks like about 85 is much as I got here. Battery's not up to temp because I had limited region up until I just got here. It doesn't know what it wants to do, whether it's too cold or too hot, so it just, wow. I should be at least getting 90 kilowatt here. It's down to 70, it jumped down to 60. Maybe this stall's not good. I hear the fans kicking on. Yeah, about 65. Okay, well, we'll see here in another few minutes. Not sure if this is part of the bug that Bjorn had, or I don't know. I think the bugs that Bjorn had on his channel, Tesla Bjorn, I think that was more or less just because of the fact that they're using a CCS plug in Europe versus, you know, in North America there's a standard, or Tesla's got their own standard plug. It's different from everyone else's. So the car actually speaks two different languages in a sense. This CCS over there, as well as what the superchargers need. But this, I guess this is the first time I'm seeing only 60 kilowatt with this state of charge. I mean, I'm at 43%. I mean, I've added 4 kilowatt. I don't know. Maybe it's assuming I'm just gonna charge up enough just to get home based on the navigation, but I doubt it. So, taking a look so far here, I mean, I'm at it's estimating 37% when I go home. Or no, that's getting here. It hadn't switched over yet. Let's see, another bunk. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm only getting 60 kilowatt. Like I said, I'm gonna walk over and get some food and or get something to snack on, and head on up the road. So we're at 212 miles so far. This is saying about 10 minutes left to get to the destination at least, but I like to have a little bit more than that. It's dropped down to 50 kilowatt, which is about where it should be for the state of battery right at the moment, which is 70%. So I'm gonna still charge up to about 80, 85, 90 just to be safe, but I can pretty much get home after about 10 minutes more of charging, so that'll be about right. Alright, so far I'm at 81%, and it's gonna, well, this is now dropped. This is now saying about 15 minutes to get to 90% from 81%. Say this the kilowatt speed drops as I get fuller battery. So again, here's the energy graph. So if I keep sitting here and charging just a little bit more, it's saying I'll have about 14% when I get home. So not too bad at the moment, but I'd still like to have a little bit more, because I know it is probably going to be at least a little windy. Alright, 90%. Time to go. Show you here what 90% is. It's actually 276 miles. So that's a little bit less than what I typically get, but then again, it's supercharged, and eventually this battery will eventually degrade a little bit over time, but not by much, so it's still quite a bit of range. Anyway, set this back to percentage because that's what I'm used to now. But 90%, it's saying 182 miles. 90% on the battery, 182 miles to get home from here in about 3 hours and 5 minutes. So it'll be just before 4 o'clock. We'll see. I'll probably run into traffic in Columbus. About 30 miles from the last supercharger stop. It's been about half an hour now. 298 miles per mile. I'm definitely getting some headwind, so I'm using more energy than what I was earlier heading south on 75, which is normal for this highway because it is directly north-south and all the wind comes from the west. So I'm getting a little bit more energy here, usage, and it's actually estimating I'm going to be there at 17% at home rather than probably about the 20 it estimated before. So here's over the last 30 miles. So consumption's been about stable, and it's estimating if I keep up with the average 286 wires per mile over the last 30 miles, then it'll be 200 miles left on the battery, so that might not be too bad. I'll definitely be kind of close, kind of home. Like I said, I can always stop one more time for a few minutes if I really have to. Not planning on it. But, 76% so far, and yeah. So I got about 82 miles with 284 watt hours per mile for consumption. I got about 100 miles left, so it's going to be about just under 2 hours. Get the rest of the way home. Still on track, and I'm not losing any time whatsoever from what I expected. So right about 20% is it's estimating now. So I actually got it recalculated a little bit. I wasn't losing as much. I've actually gained in efficiency since I've turned more of an eastward path. I'm not getting as much headwind or winds blowing on the front end of the car, slowing me down. So it's looking pretty good. 2 hours from the charger, 270 wires per mile, 132 miles since then. I still have about 50 miles to go to home. Not bad. Not bad at all. I know it's not too far from here. I know that once I get to this point, it's always like it's just a little bit longer. Just stick it through, and it'll be alright. Well, I made it back home after a couple short delays, but let's see what it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring my stuff out of the car, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.